the nutrition system. It hasn't worked for us. So I'm going to really say to you, you want to be very, very careful of your nutrition at this time because you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable because of uncertainty in job situation. When there's an uncertainty any which way, we're more vulnerable, okay? Mm-hmm. So let me just find a lovely message for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's your vision. Now, that's so interesting. How's your eyesight been?
Fine.
Okay, good. Because your vision has to expand.
Okay.
But I think it's the inner vision, and the inner vision is that you more determinately or with great determination, and I know you're good at this one, you recognize more fully that you are a shining star. I believe your light has to expand more fully. So that could be that your job search has to expand a bit.
Okay.
And you're going to, it will be beneficial to adapt more of a crusader-like energy. And have you been meditating?
No. Not
Good.
recently.
Excellent. I'm so delighted to hear that because I was going to tell you have to stop. Okay.
I guess I got the message early.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Now, why would I tell anyone to stop meditating? Because I know there's many who are listening that meditate. In meditation, we're still seeking something. And it's almost that prayer asking a God out there somewhere to do something. Well, the deeper part is drop the meditation and simply be what you are, which of course is the manifestation of God in the body known as Sandhya. That's why they want your vision to expand. There it is. I don't know if you can see exactly what was just said for you. So it's the seeing of your own God self that's the expanded vision, which will somehow energize you and energize your right position. The idea of searching for a job, you even have to give that up, because in an expanded vision, you're already one with your perfect career and job.
Okay. That's interesting because I had two conversations on Friday and both of them were brought to me. It's not something I went looking for.
Okay, good. Okay. And now we're under a retrograde Venus. And we're also going into the shadow side of a retrograde Mercury. So it's a little tricky dance right now. But mostly it's tricky for people who haven't let go. So once again, the more we drop it, the easier it is. So all beliefs about anything. I want that kind of position. I need to be here. I need to be there. Because the essence of you, the real essence, the manifestation of the God force, it doesn't know what you're talking about. It sounds crazy. You know, we've been taught to pray for something. That's what's crazy. So it's more simply remembering that it's only the thoughts that are going to hold you back. They're showing me, just in your special case, although I do suspect it applies to me and everyone listening, it takes more energy to hold ourselves closed than to let new ideas flow to you. And because of that powerful new moon that we are on the cusp of, you really do have the opportunity to flow more easily.
Okay.
And a little lovely message, please allow yourself to take up more space in the world. In other words, open yourself up, because that is illuminating the world.
Okay. Yeah, I've been keeping to myself. You're absolutely right, and that's not me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a very... Do you remember, Sandhya, in any of your charts where one of the cardinal points are, whether it be Aries, Libra, or Cancer, Capricorn?
I do not.
Okay, I don't either.
In a while.
Once in a while I get a flash of, that's where it was, but I just don't. What did you remember your rising sign?
No, I do not.
Okay. Oh, okay then. Then you have to just be on the illumination trail without.
I always left that up to you, I guess.
And of course, I would run and get the paperwork and then be smart. Yeah, I like this new moon for you very much, Sandhya. Okay. Very much.
Okay.
Now remember, we're in a year of new beginnings. Mm-hmm. We're in a year where every process and everything we've ever learned, as far as I can figure out, doesn't apply and it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So the more I'm dropping opinions and judgments, and everything is going. Mm-hmm. So be very careful, because these judgments and opinions are a dime a dozen out there. But I know how you operate. I know the antiquity of your soul nature. Mm-hmm. Not your human body, your soul nature, because we've talked about that from when you were a kid. You just are old.
Yes.
And old, what I'm going to share today, something out of the book that I've gone back to Dance with Angels. Have you ever read that?
No, I have not.
You may have to look that up. It was born in the 1990s. And it's really a happy book, and it's through a channel, and the channel brings forth the work of a grand spirit known as Dr. Peebles, who, while he was in body, he was a doctor. Okay. And it's the couple, a husband and wife, are authors, and they actually interviewed the channel a lot, took part in sessions, so their name is on the cover, and it's Don and Linda Pendleton. But here's just one of the things that I think will help you. The scenario here is you have an opportunity to talk to God. You have an opportunity to ask God some questions, okay? So, of course, the problem is, what would you ever ask the great omnipotent presence, okay? So here it starts out with, just try a little scenario just for fun. And so God replies, you live forever. And then the people say, that's not exactly an original idea, your worship. Many men have told us that. Tell us something that we've never heard before. And God says, you are the personification of the divine on earth. And, of course, the people answer back, Jesus and all the other mystics told us that. Come on, tell us something hot. And God says, you already contain all truth within yourselves. And we reply, we know that. Tell us something new. So those are the things that your conversation with God would be. Even your message alluded to the exact same thing. Just remembering you are the personification of the divine. There's really not much to do. There's not much to seek. There's not much to search. There's nothing to seek and search, as a matter of fact. So you are being your divine, fulfilling, life-enhancing opportunity to contribute to the creativity of life. Now, that's a lovely, proactive way of your job description, of explaining your job description?
I think I should put that on my resume, maybe.
I think you should. Knowing how you operate and live, So it says it all. Won't it be grand when we live and move and more people appreciate that and move from that point of view?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So don't get attached to anything right now, okay? And that will keep you sane. You do have to remember, and this is for everybody who's listening, the flying star in Chinese that's in the center of the Bagua this year is the number 1 star, meaning the other buzzwords for the number 1 star are Kan, K''A''N, which is north, which is water, which is spirit. Well, if you take it in its pecking order, water resonates to the emotion fear. Spirit looks at that and says, what fear? I am. So therefore, it obliterates the fear right out of the box. But that doesn't take meditation, it takes knowingness. And I believe as we just live and breathe in the knowingness, you begin to catch yourself more quickly every day with, let it go, because,
Yes.
Makes sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But like you said, we're all impatient. After 3 months, I'm like, okay, let's get this show on the road.
Yep, it's time now. Well, look I say that, but I would tell you there is no such thing as time. So it would appear that it's in divine order. There'd be no reason why it can't manifest now. So will you do a very thorough investigation at any thought patterns that are inhibiting the go-forward mode, and a thorough investigation of what well-meaning people are saying to you, because you may have to go into hibernation.
I have been hibernating, actually, for that reason.
Good, because well-meaning people are going to say, "Oh, you haven't gotten that yet." Yeah. I don't know if you remember being pregnant with the girls. One of the worst questions people would ask me when I was carrying my son, looking full on at me, "Oh, you haven't had the baby yet?" You're feeling like you're 20 months pregnant. Duh. No, I haven't had the baby yet. And it would throw me into such a depression because I would think there's something wrong with me.
Well, interestingly, this is the longest I've been between projects, and I think that's where I'm like, okay, what is this about?
Okay, is there something, and part of your investigation would be, is there some area that I needed a sabbatical to absorb and process?
Absolutely. After 10 years of just going with everything, as you know.
Yeah, I know.
This is a time of rest and taking care of myself. Hibernation.
I think you've heard me suggest this before. I'll suggest it again simply because I know you, and if you haven't looked into it yet, it's worth exploring, okay? And that is the work called Living Reality. And it is so simple, and you'll never get through it.
Okay.
It is so simple that you'll dismiss it. It is so simple that it is the most profound material I've come across in my whole journey of looking, and it finally has me put down all looking, all seeking, and the being. It's kind of like everything's lining up correctly. So it's a great work. James Braha, Braha, he's actually got it on his website. And I would say, just knowing how it is for those of us who write our own books and self-publish, it's just kinder to buy from him if you can. Okay, because it just he gets the